guys, it's Jessii Vee. And yes, I currently have a very spooky monster backdrop behind me comprised of scary eyes and scary mouths. I figured because it is currently September, this is when the scary backdrops are beginning. There are way more eyes than what you can see on this backdrop. The camera can't cover it all, but they're so cool and so colorful. And like every single one is unique, which I love. So if you guys would like to win this new spooky backdrop, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and then I'm gonna make this second thing very easy for you guys. My sister and I are starting a podcast together, so we do have a podcast YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. I'm gonna link it down below. It's actually taking over the old Moot channel, which is kind of sad. Rest in peace, Moot. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll be back at some point, but for now, his old channel is becoming the Peculiar Place podcast channel. So if you would like to win this backdrop, all you have to do is go there and subscribe. If you're already subscribed there, awesome. You don't have to do anything, but I'll be picking one of those subscribers to give this backdrop to. And by the way, the first episode of the podcast is coming out this week at some point, so stay tuned. Now, before I get started, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Wisconsin Getaways for hosting myself and my family this past week at their beautiful properties. We first went to the Castle Vineyard, which is absolutely stunning. I felt like I was brought back to medieval times. The details and decor and features in this house are incredible. It honestly felt otherworldly, like I had entered some fantasy realm, and I loved it. And then we went to the Malibu house, which is a beautiful property right on the water. It has an indoor pool, which I thought was so cool. And my family and I just had an amazing time there as well. We actually have a vlog coming out that documents our entire week there. And Wisconsin Getaways were kind enough to give me a discount code to give to you guys. You can use code JessieVee for $200 off your stay at any of the Wisconsin Getaway properties. I will put a link down below to their website, so definitely go and check them out. It's just the perfect place for your next family vacation, destination wedding, event. We had such a good time, so thank you so much, Wisconsin Getaways. All right, so let's get right into today's video talking about the bleeding gravestone, which is something I never thought I would ever say. And what's so cool about today's video is that this gravestone is actually in Wisconsin. I unfortunately couldn't go and see it because it was too far from where I was staying, but the story behind this is so eerie and interesting. Now, most of the time when people travel, they like to check out highly rated restaurants, stores, cool landmarks, hiking trails, but there are others that love getting spooked, that want to go to places that tourists don't usually think of visiting. And if you're one of those people, you may want to go to one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. This is called the Kate Blood Gravestone, and it's an urban legend that has scared people for centuries. The bleeding gravestone can be found in one of the oldest cemeteries in Appleton Riverside Cemetery. And it's actually quite fitting because it's a creepy setting right on the river, and this gravestone marks the final resting place of Kate Blood. All of the visitors that go to this cemetery are drawn to this eerie looking gravestone by a story that goes around about her. People said that Kate Blood was actually a witch who used an axe to end the lives of her husband and children, and then she died soon after. And if you ever go to see her gravestone in person, you'll notice that it's quite far away from the others. It's sort of secluded from the other gravestones. And the legend is that the officials placed her gravestone as far away as possible to hide her misdeeds. Now, many tourists have claimed that they have seen her apparition at random times of the day, crouched, hiding behind her gravestone, which is so eerie. They've also heard strange sounds and have seen balls of light floating around. And the common belief is that if you approach the gravestone on a full moon night, you can see blood dripping down the stone on the gravestone. Now, I was actually able to find a creepy story about a woman who saw this in broad daylight. She was walking through the cemetery with her dog and happened upon Kate's gravestone, and she felt oddly drawn to to it, and as she was reading the date of her death, she noticed this red dripping going over the letters. At first, she thought maybe it was rust or something falling down from the trees overhead, but when she looked closer, she saw that it was seeping right out of the pores of the stone. Now, people often wonder, is this legend really true? People are so divided on this. Some say that Kate Blood was a member of the community who was loved by all and had a sad story of her own. It's said that she was just 23 years old when she got afflicted with tuberculosis, and she had to travel south to stay with her family in a warmer climate. And apparently she died while she was in Kansas, and her body was brought back to the community by train. The thing is, the records of her death and any information about her family have been lost, so we don't truly know the true story. And if the paranormal activity is real, I wouldn't suggest you go see her grave at midnight on a full moon in case it really does bleed. And if she really was a sweet woman who just unfortunately died from a sickness, I do hope that she rests in peace. Now, as I was doing research for this video, I came across another really eerie legend that is totally different from this gravestone. It's called the town that vanished in Wisconsin. Some people think it's this really creepy Mandela effect. Supposedly, there was a town in Wisconsin called Doveland, and at one point in the 90s, it simply disappeared. But the strange thing is, there are no historical documents that prove the existence of Doveland. But like with Mandela effects, what's so scary is that many people remember it and many people don't. And if it really is true, people are wondering, how would a town with so many people just vanish overnight? Well, people have come up with some theories. Some claim Doveland was swallowed up by a sinkhole or completely leveled by an earthquake. But if that really happened, you would think that so many more people would remember such a crazy event like that. In more creepy theories, some people theorize that Doveland was cursed long ago by a vengeful spirit, and the disappearance of the town and its residents was some sort of eternal punishment. Others believe that Doveland didn't actually disappear at all, but you just can't see it. Supposedly, you could sometimes see the ghostly outline of a town and its buildings along with the residents. And that to me is also really scary, the fact that sometimes it comes in and out of focus and only some people can see it. The thing that really keeps the legend of Doveland going is that without fail, you'll see someone on social media claim to have souvenirs from a town called Doveland, like shirts and mugs. So people are actually claiming they have merch from visiting this town in the souvenir shops. But like I said, no one knows where it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, there is no documentation of this town, so it's really just up to what people believe. So it's either a hoax or a part of some interdimensional tear in the fabric of reality. Now, I was on Reddit, and apparently this is the last photo that was ever recovered from Doveland back in the 90s. Don't know how real this is, but it's definitely eerie. Anyways though guys, those are the creepy legends that I wanted to bring up today. Don't forget to check out Wisconsin Getaways. I have linked them down below, but I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! We used to always watch movies together, Disney movies that we shouldn't have been watching, like Charlie's Angels and like all kinds of stuff that we would definitely sneak and watch. But we did this thing where we would choose a character to be. Do you remember that? So we'd look at all the characters and Mandy would be like, I want to be that girl, whatever character it was, and I would choose one, and that whole movie, like, we'd react depending on what our character was doing, and it was
I think
fun.
about that all the time whenever I like watch movies where we do that.
Yeah.
Even like when I'm with Luca, and I just remember that being a thing.
I don't know if anyone else has done that or if that's just a you and me thing.
But we used to do that with our cousins and stuff too.
Well,
we used to force it upon them.
We'd be like,
we used to be like, you and I would choose, and we'd be like, okay, that leaves this person for you.
And it'd always be like the worst character. It's like, sorry, little cousin, that one's you. And they'd be like, no. And we'd be like, you have to be one.
No, we'd like try to convince them. We'd be like, no, like they're so great. Like they're literally the best.